Ishavasyopanishad, Mantra 9, Mantra 7. 6 is done, I think. We have done 6. We have done 6. So 5 and 6 we have done in the last session. Mantra 7. Yasmin sarvani bhutani Atmaiva bhudvijanataha Tatra ko mohah kashokaha Ekatvam anupashyataha. Once again, the Upanishad is talking about the result of the knowledge. Jnana phala. Jnana phala means the result of the knowledge. We don't do anything without phala, without result. Prayojanam anuddeshya mandopina pravartate. Without any purpose, nobody works. Everybody works with the purpose. So, if someone is pursuing jnana, he will definitely ask the purpose. What is the purpose? The purpose is Samsara nivritti, freedom from samsara. What is samsara? There are various ways of explaining samsara. In fact, all our emotional problems, all our complaints are samsara. And the author, the Upanishad, there is no author because Upanishad is apaurusheya. It does not have a human author. The Upanishad is describing samsara as a shoka and a moha. Shoka means sorrow. The emotional breakdown, emotional helplessness is a shoka. And moha. Moha means a delusion. Most of the human beings live in delusion. It is a delusion to think that the material objects can bring permanent happiness. We seek happiness from a locus where it is not really there, from a locus where it is not really available. There is something called Maru Marichika, Mirage. In the desert, because of the sunlight, there seems to be water in the desert. And when certain animals, like a deer, when it sees this, it thinks that there is water. And this animal is thirsty and there is water. It goes for water. It runs. Let me find water. But as it runs, the mirage goes further away, because you can see mirage only from a distance. So it runs and runs in the large desert, in the vast desert. And it does not find water because it is not there. It runs and runs all day, and finally, out of thirst, without finding any water, it dies. It is the mirage water. How the mirage puts us into a delusion. Likewise, even this world is like a mirage, because the world seems to be promising. The world seems to be giving us permanent happiness, permanent security. And we run after objects, relatives, relations. We expect happiness from relations. We expect happiness from wealth. We expect happiness from social status. Without understanding that none of these can promise us permanent happiness. The relations cannot promise us permanent happiness, because the relations themselves are temporary. No relation is permanent. There is nothing called permanent relation. The relation with your son or daughter, is it permanent? It is not permanent. Every relation has a beginning. When did she become your daughter? The moment she was born in this body. Before she was born in this body, she was not your daughter. She is another jiva. Another jiva. And it has its own journey. And now she has become your daughter. And it will continue for a while. Then you have to part your ways, whether you like it or not. It is like a journey in train or bus. Therefore, no relations are permanent. And the behavior of the relatives is unpredictable. We cannot predict how the other person behaves, what he will do in future, what she will do in future, how he or she will feel towards you in future. It is all variable. The universe is full of variables. Everything is a variable in the universe. Even the mind is a variable. Others' minds are variables. You don't have any control over them. Then how can you expect them to be steady? Therefore, expecting permanent happiness in relations is a delusion. And so is it with wealth. Even the wealth is not permanent. Therefore, expecting permanent happiness in the wealth is a delusion. And so is it with the social status, name and form, recognition. None of them are permanent. Therefore, if you expect permanent happiness from the world, lasting happiness from the world, it is moha. And moha causes shoka. When there is moha, we start depending on various objects in the world, and nothing keeps its promise for a long time. Then there is emotional breakdown. We get dejected. It is samsara. Samsara is shoka and moha. How to be free from Shoka Moha? The Upanishad is giving the solution. Yasmin sarvani bhutani atmaiva bhudvijanataha. Atma is the way to be free from Shoka and Moha. Way to be free from samsara. Yasmin kale, at which time indicates a state of spiritual maturity. A spiritually mature person, he has a different vision, a different understanding. He is a Jnani. Vijaanataha. Visheshena janati. He knows properly the absolute truth. And what is his vision? Sarvani bhutani atmaiva bhut. In his understanding, all the beings are nothing other than Atma. Sarvani bhutani brahmadi stamba paryantani. All bhutas, all objects and all beings, the multitude of objects, for him everything is Atma. Because he has understood that Atma is the only real substance. Everything other than Atma is name and form, Nama Rupa. Therefore, Sarvani Bhutani Atma Eva Abhut. Everything is Atma. Then he does not attribute any reality to the material world. He does not attribute any reality to the relations. A relation involves two related. To be related, there has to be a limited identity. Relation is in the domain of duality, where there are two limited identities. I identify as an individual with a given name and form, and I relate to another individual with the given name and form. That is relation. When everything is Atma, you are not related, because in Atma there is no limited identity. Therefore, you cannot identify as a related or a relative as far as Atma is concerned. Therefore, he has understood that all relations are unreal. I am neither the related nor I have relations. Then he does not rely on any relation for his emotional support. He might continue to have relation from the empirical point of view, but from the absolute point of view, he has understood that the relations are not real. Therefore, he does not depend on any relation for his emotional support. And so is it with the wealth and social status, recognition, validation. He does not depend on anything. He is Niraashrayaha. Bhagavad Gita describes a Jnani as Niraashrayaha and Nitya Triptaha. Nitya Tripto Niraashrayaha. He is not dependent on anything. And he is satisfied within himself. Ever satisfied within himself. Nitya Triptaha. Such a person is a Vipashit Vijaanat Jnani Ekatvam anupashyataha. He sees the true Ekatva, oneness. Many people talk about oneness, but how to understand the oneness? As long as the multitude is real, there cannot be oneness. If the duality is real, oneness is not possible. One can understand the oneness, ekatva, only when you understand the mithyatva of the duality. If there is universe and the universe is real, all dualities are real, then you cannot say there is something without duality. That is why in Vedanta a lot of effort is put to understand the mithyatva of the universe. Nehana nasti kinchana, Kathopanishad says, there is no nana, no duality. All the names and forms belong to a lesser reality. And the absolute truth is Ekameva Dvitiyam, one without a second. And the Jnani is aware of the Ekatvam, one without a second. Ekatvam anupashyataha. He sees the Ekatva through the eye of his knowledge. When we say he sees Ekatva, It does not mean he sees everything as one homogeneous entity with his eyes. It is not so. So that is a vision problem. If I have a problem in my vision, then everything will look same. For me, everything is same. That is not ekatva. In the vyavahara, there will always be duality. Upanishad does not say that there is ekatva in the vyavahara. This ephemeral world, this transactory world is full of dualities. And in this world we have to recognize an object as it is. If Devadatta is coming, we should recognize him as Devadatta. If Yajnadatta is coming, we should recognize him as Yajnadatta. After attending Vedanta session, this person goes home. This lady goes home and she is serving breakfast. There are different people. Some are old, some are young. You have to serve in different quantities. But this lady is serving everyone the same quantity this day, this Sunday. Then someone asked, why you are serving the same quantity? Then she says, ekatvamanupashyataha. For me everything is one. That is why somewhere it is said in one of the Prakarana Granthas, Bhavadvaitam sada kuryat, Kriyadvaitam na karhichit. Advaita should be in understanding, not in transaction. In transaction there will be Dvaita. And the transaction should be in accordance with the differences of the world. So, ekatvam anupashyataha does not mean he gets some eyesight issue after studying Vedanta. With his physical eyes, he will always see the duality. Because the physical eyes are devised to see the forms. And he will see the forms as they are. But in the meantime, he is aware of a greater reality that is in and through this universe. In and through this Vyavaharika Jagat, he is aware of the Advaita, the one without a second. With his Charma Chakshuhu, this eye is called Charma Chakshu. The eye made of skin, tissues. With this eye he will see Dvaita. Charma Chakshusha Dvaitam Pashyati. But with his Jnana Chakshu, With the eye of knowledge, he sees the Advaita. Even while he is involved in the transaction. Charma chakshusha dvaitam pashyannapi jnana chakshusha advaitam pashyati. Charma chakshusha vyavaharam vyavaharikam pashyannapi jnana chakshusha paramarthikam pashyati. That is ekatvam anupashyatah. So he is awake to the absolute truth that is free from all differences. And when he is aware of such a reality, tatra ko shokaha ko mohaha kashokaha. There is no moha and no shoka. There is no room for moha and shoka. Mantra 8. Saparyagat Shukram Akayam Avranam Asnaviram Shuddham Apapavidham Kavirmanishi Paribhoho Swayambhoho Yatha Tathyataha Arthan Vyadadhat Shashvatibhyas Samabhyah. This mantra describes the Atma Tattva, the Brahman. Saha Paryagat, Saha Atma, the Atma. Paryagat, Parisamantat Agat. So, Parisamantat Agat. He has entered everywhere. Means all pervasive. Atma is all pervasive. Sarva Vyapi. Shukram, effulgent, being consciousness, being Chaitanya, it is effulgent. Shukram, Akayam, it does not have kaya. Kaya means sharira. And Shankaracharya says, Akayam negates Sukshma Sharira. The Atma is free from Sukshma Sharira. There is something called Sukshma Sharira. The Sharira that we see is Sthula Sharira, the gross body. But then there is something called Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body. The mind, senses, prana, all these form the Sukshma Sharira. Atma is free from Sukshma Sharira, free from mind, free from senses. Therefore, Akayam, Avranam Asnaviram. Avranam. Vrana means a wound, an injury is called Vrana. Avranam, free from injuries. And Asnaviram, free from veins. Veins, blood vessels. Free from blood vessels. Snavaha, Siraha. That which does not have snava is called Asnavira. It does not have blood vessels. Avranam and Asnaviram implies the negation of Sthula Sharira. Sthula Sharira Pratishedhaha. So, Atma does not have Sthula Sharira. It is free from Sharira. Atma is Asharira. Ashariram Sharireshu Anavastheshvavasthitam Mahantam Vibhumatmanam Matvadhiro Nashochati. Kathopanishad says so. Atma is Asharira. The Asharira is present in the bodies. Ashariram Sharireshu Avasthitam. Asnaviram Shuddham. Shuddham means pure, free from punya and papa. Shuddham means avidyamala-rahitam. It is free from avidya, free from ignorance. Avidya is called Karana Sharira. In Vedanta, we talk about three Shariras: Sthula Sharira, Sukshma Sharira, and Karana Sharira. What is Karana Sharira? Karana Sharira is nothing but avidya, ignorance. In Vedanta, ignorance is not absence. If you look at your dictionary, how will it define ignorance? Absence of knowledge or lack of knowledge. But the Vedanta says, ignorance is not a lack of knowledge. Ignorance is not absence of knowledge. Ignorance is avidya. What is avidya? Jnana virodhi bhava rupam. It is a positive entity that is opposed to jnana, that is opposed to knowledge. It is a positive entity which hides the true nature of the truth, that conceals the true nature of the truth. It is called avidya. So the avidya is karana sharira. It is called karana sharira because it is responsible for our sthula sharira and sukshma sharira. What makes us identify with this sthula sharira and sukshma sharira? It is avidya. If we don't have avidya, we would not have identified with the sthula sharira and sukshma sharira. Therefore, it is called karana sharira. So, the Atma is free from karana sharira also, which is called avidya. So, shuddham means avidyamalarahitam, means karana sharira varjitam, free from karana sharira. Apapavidham, free from papa, not touched by papa. And we should understand even punya, papa and punya. What is papa and what is punya? Certain actions, they produce some invisible effect. They are called punya and papa. Sometimes things go wrong. Then what do we say? It is our fate. Bad luck. What is bad luck? Bad luck is another way of expressing. In reality, it is not bad luck. It is papa. Our papa is fructifying at that moment. And we cannot blame anybody else. It is our own doing in the past. We have done something wrong in the past and it is fructifying now. That is why it is our karma. Karma means what we have done in the past. It was there in the form of a papa, invisible papa, and now it's yielding its result. So most often people think, what happens if I do adharma? What happens if I tell a lie and escape? Nobody catches me. Let me tell a lie and escape. Let me intelligently tell a lie. However intelligently I tell a lie, my karma does not leave me. It will remain. And one day it fructifies. Then we say, I have not done anything wrong. Still things are not going right with me. You have not done anything wrong now, but there is something waiting. So that is punya and papa. The Atma is free from punya and papa, both. Apapavidham. The Atma is neither karta nor bhokta. neither doer nor the enjoyer. When we identify as the doer and enjoyer, we are subject to punya and papa. The true self is free from kartrutva and bhoktrutva, free from doership and enjoyership, therefore free from punya as well as papa. Therefore, when we understand our true self properly, I am the Atma, free from doership and enjoyership. We are free from the effects of punya and papa. Until then, there is punya and papa. We are subject to the results of our karma. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.